לא הספקתי. Today is the 23rd day of Teves, the 23rd of January, and we're continuing with Mitzvahs Kiddush HaChodesh, Daf Samech Tet, Amud Aleph. Okay. Now, what is this Malchus that goes up to Abba by itself? I mean, it doesn't need Zah, it doesn't need its husband. And what does this even mean? Why does it usually need its husband? What's going on? So, here's the explanation. So, just to make this in Chassidic language, it's a little introduction, that what we're going to see is that each one of these has an interpretation in the psyche of the person. So the Malchus is something. Yesterday we discussed it as being reality, or how you see reality. He's going to discuss it in a different way today. And Zah is something, her husband is something, and the Abba is something in the person's psychology. Okay, so let's see how. Kinei Malchut.
Yesterday you said about Nekeva and Zachar.
Yeah.
Chodesh is Nekeva.
Okay, right. That's why it says Venisko. Because she goes up by herself.
No, Veniska is Nekeva.
Ken, but it's with a hey. So it's talking about the. But we say Venisko. Even though it says a hey at the end, we say it Venisko as if it was male. So from that, the Arizal the Zohar learns that Malchus goes up by itself to Abba, because she's acting like a male. She's like Yento. she's hiding herself as a male. Okay, that's how it says in Rosh Chodesh. Venisko.
Shabbat, what do you say?
Venisko with a hey. Okay.
Veniska.
Veniska, but I think we say Venisko. I didn't check. Yeah. Should check. I don't remember. Ken, I know it's with a hey, just how do we read it? Where's the Rosh Chodesh here? Here's the Rosh Chodesh. So in Rosh Chodesh, so in Shabbat it says Veniska. Okay? And then in Rosh Chodesh it says Venisko at the end with a vav. With a vav. Ken, that's what we're talking about. Ken, we're talking about. Venisko. So Rosh Chodesh. What? We don't say this? No, Shachris, you mean in Musaf. This is Korban Musaf. Right, so it's Korban Musaf. That's how you would say.
No, you don't say.
So V'yom Shabbat V'niska, and that's in Musaf for Shabbos. And if it was Rosh Chodesh, then we would say V'nisko. Ken V'yayin Kenisko.
Yeah, but the question is, Lama b'Shachris lo omrim et ze?
Because Shachris is not Musaf. Shachris is Korban Tamid. The Korban Tamid there's no difference. It's only on the Musaf.
Tamid ze b'Musaf?
Ken. The Musaf is beyond the Tamid, more than the Tamid. It's Korban Shabbat. Korban Shabbat is not the Tamid. Tamid is what you give every day. And then you have another Korban for Shabbat. Okay, and then okay. So now let's see how he explains it. Kinei Malchut idvar Hashem, וידוע שהדיבור נקרא עלמא דאיתגליה, על שם שמגלה המידות. So he says Malchus, and the way we're going to analyze it now is a Malchus, the feminine is speech, meaning it's how I speak. That's my Malchus. We usually say that because we say bidvar melech shilton, that the king rules with his speech. And that's the whole power of a king. So Malchus, kingdom, sovereignty, is with speech. And now, where does speech come from? So he says, the speech is the word of Hashem. And it's known that God created the world with speech. So this is called the revealed world. The revealed world that we see, God created with speech, as it were. And why is this the revealed world? Because it's revealing the emotions, the attributes of the heart. Okay? So the attributes of the heart, who's the attributes of the heart here? So we'll see in a moment. You can already guess. So the attributes of the heart are revealed by the speech. Okay? כמו אם יאהב אדם לזולתו, ידברו עמו דברי אהבה וחיבה. So if a person has a strong affinity towards someone, they love them very much, the way they'll speak to them will reflect how they feel. There'll be words of love. ונמצא מתגלה האהבה על ידי הדיבור. So love is revealed through speech. So the speech in general is what we call revelation. Alma de Itgalia, revealing. What is it revealing? How the person feels on the inside. וכן התפארות שיש בליבו יגלנה על ידי הדיבור. And same thing is when a person has a feeling of greatness, so also that will be revealed in his speech. ונמצא המידות הם המקורים והדיבור בחינת מקבל מהם. So we find from here that the emotional attributes are the source, and malchus and speech receives from the emotional attributes. Now a person would say, I don't always speak with emotion. First of all, it's probably not true. That even if there's lack of emotion, that's an emotion. Yeah, I don't care. Also, in any case, ומצד עצמו לית למיגרמי כלום. And he says, and if emotion would be not connected to speech, so speech would be empty. You'd feel that it's empty. Empty words. Nothing there. So he says that from that we learn that the speech is like malchus, it doesn't have anything of its own. When we say it doesn't have anything of its own, we don't mean that it doesn't exist. It exists. You can speak. But there's no content. There's nothing going on, nothing happening. It's just words. They're mincing words. But that's how things normally are. So we can already guess that this is how things normally are, that Malchus receives from the emotional attributes, meaning that's Zah. That is its husband. So the husband of the speech is the emotions. But he says, but there's a higher type of speech, and this is when the speech does not receive from the emotions. Rather, where is it going to be receiving from? But rather it receives directly from the mind. So for instance, when a person is speaking words of wisdom, he's debating something that is intellectual. So there, the speech is not receiving from the emotions, it's receiving from the mind, from the seichel. Sorry, I skipped something. שאין למידות שייכות לדיבור זה כלל, אלא השכל הוא מקורו שנובע גילויו בדיבור. So here the emotions have no role, and it's only what the person thinks that is being revealed through the speech. וכמו שהשכל הוא מקור למידות, כן הוא מקור לדיבור, and just as the mind is the true origin of the emotions, and here we're talking about rectified emotions. Okay, so where is he? From the midot. His midot are stuyot. His midot are not serious. It could also be that maybe his mind is full of nonsense, and he's talking from there. But in principle, so we have to organize all this because it's not so clear. I mean, he's speaking very simply, but there's a lot hiding behind it, and we'll try to make some sense of it. First, we have to go through it. So now he says, if the speech is being affected from the mind directly, then the speech and the emotions have the same source. They're equal. They're at equal stature then. Right? So if the emotions are Zah and speech is Malchus, so Malchus and Zah become equal when they both take from the Seichel together, from the mind together. והדרך משל זה יובן ההפרש בין ראש חודש לשאר ששת ימי המעשה שנקרא ימי המעשה לפי שבהם מקבל את המלכות מן המידות. So now we can understand in terms of the psyche the difference between Rosh Chodesh, the first of the month, sanctifying the new moon, and the 6 days of action. That's what they're called, the 6 days of acting. 6 days of work, people call it, but it's work week, right? The work days. But really it's of action. Because during these 6 days, where is Malchus receiving from? It's receiving from the emotions and it's revealing them. So again, when I say emotions, so everybody thinks be emotional speech. It don't necessarily mean that the person has to show the emotion. But it means that what's fueling it is the heart, not the mind. So that's what happens during the 6 days of the week. The person is revealing the attributes of the heart. How does this work in creation? That when God created the world, so the first 6 days, they're a revelation of Hashem's chesed through Yesod, His loving kindness through His foundation. Exactly how does it show up? Okay, so now we have to go through the story of creation, the account of creation, and show it. So on the first day, Hashem created light. So light, or and ahava, they're very much related. So that's light is it's chesed. Both of them, loving kindness is the creation of light. Then, meaning in other words, that the whole point of the world was to bring about love, to bring about loving kindness. And that is what light is. What? Chesed Atzilut b'Malchut. Again, that was on the first day. The Chesed of Atzilut comes down in Malchus. It's spoken. Yehi or, let there be light. The second day, what did he do? Yehi Rakia. Let there be a separation, a firmament between the higher waters. That's Gvura. That's exactly what. The third day. What? In the Malchus, meaning he spoke it, and that's what came out on the second day. On the third day, he called it Itparut before. So Tiferet, what is Tiferet? It comes out as clothing the earth with vegetation. That's Itparut, making it beautiful. Making the world beautiful by adding vegetation. The fourth day, Netzach, what did he create on the fourth day? What did he bring about? The sun and the moon and the stars. What was their purpose? Their purpose was to tell time. And Netzach is eternity. It's about time. This is going to be very important because we've been talking about Netzach. We haven't talked so much about the first thing that God created in Netzach was the sun and the moon and the stars. Here we're going to see it, that the first time that we have a mitzvah that's related to time is here. The first mitzvah that we received from Hashem is this mitzvah to sanctify the moon. So the first thing Hashem wants is time, before everything else. Again, it's true that He gave Adam to be fruitful and multiply, and then He gave Avram to circumcise, and then He gave Yaakov to not eat the sciatic nerve. But here Hashem is giving this to Moshe and Aaron. This is considered part of the Torah already. And the first thing He said is you have to sanctify time. So time is the most important thing that I have to tell you, says Hashem. This is like in any case, and you go on and you see that each day is a revelation of that particular attribute of the heart. Okay. And why does Hashem do this? In order to clarify, to rectify the 288 sparks of holiness that fell down into the klipa, the klipat noga, the intermediate shell of impurity in the three lower worlds. Meaning, what is he saying here? That when we speak, and when Hashem speaks, the purpose is the same. It's to clarify. Why do we say, Ptach picha ve'yayiru dvarecha, open your mouth, and your words should shine out. Shine out in what way? What do you mean? Why do we say words shine out? Because words clarify the world. If there's no communication, there's no clarity. If there's no communication, then you're animals. And animals don't clarify things. They either win or lose. There's no clarification. There's no attempt. They can't because they don't have the ability. So you have to have communication in order to fix things, to rectify them. וכמו בעבודת השם בחינת צור מרע ועשה טוב, שיש באדם כל היום, שזהו עיקר הבירורים, והוא בא מחמת רשים ומאהבה או יראה שהיה לו בתפילה, שהם קוראים לבירור זה. So he says it's the same thing as what we say to a person, צור מרע ועשה טוב, we give him musar. We say to him, your life should be dedicated to refraining from evil and doing good. How do you know the difference between evil and good? That depends on your clarification. You have to clarify it. You have to decide. How did you come to this? Through communication. And that's what a person does all day, that he does birurim, he rectifies, he clarifies reality. And all this is a result of the love and fear that he had during davening. They are the source, meaning the Za awakens during davening. That's the purpose of davening. The purpose of davening here is to awaken. We speak in order to awaken our emotions. That's why a person wants to have emotions when he's davening. A lot of people say this. I don't feel anything when I daven. I don't feel inspired. But more importantly, I don't feel love and fear. I don't feel anything. There's nothing going on. So what is that? It means that his eye is on life support. His heart is on life support. It can be fine, healthy. Most of the people, they're on life support. Okay, so I guess we'll have to continue tomorrow.